I hope everyone has had a good past month. I think for the most part, we'll skip intros. I mean, we can do a quick little recap of everyone if you want, but I think it might be best just to sort of dive into the content for this call. So, yeah, there's three main things I wanted to cover before we really get started. The first is the big thing. The multi-chain governance is live, so this is really going to be the main topic for the call. And Crizzy on Discord put up a great announcement post yesterday detailing how to migrate. So yeah, take a look at that if you haven't already. And then just another point on governance in general. March has had more than like a way higher than average number of proposals, and just because of everything that was needed to get pushed out to activate native well on base. And they all hit quorum, so I think that was kind of an exciting uptrend, really. And and then the last thing I wanted to touch on my end is that there's an upcoming Galaxy governance initiative. This is a little bit of an announcement of the announcement because we'll detail more of it either this weekend or Monday. But essentially, there's going to be a base voter NFT issued through Galaxy. So there's basically going to be base-related voting actions that you can complete, and then at the end of the month, there's going to be a drawing of the NFT holders, and they'll get a USDC reward. So yeah, so just look on more of that coming soon. Fachucky, our delegate, is spearheading that, so we'll likely have an announcement out soon. And yeah, that's mostly everything I had on my end. Those little housekeeping updates. So yeah, I think I'll go ahead and introduce what we'll be doing today. We'll shift focus over to our guests. Let's see, Sai, if you want to raise your hand, I can go ahead and get you ready to speak as well, because I think we're going to start with Gauntlet. They'll chat a little bit about risk things from the past month, and then we'll shift the main focus of the call over to Elliot from Solidity Labs. All right. Yep, so the main thing I think we'll start with, if it works for you, Sai, you can chat a little bit about the cap increases. This was from, I believe, 2 days ago, so it's pretty recent.
Thanks, Alex.
Okay, good.
Yep. So Gauntlet recommended of increases in caps for wrapped ETH, wrapped staked ETH, and CB ETH, and this was primarily driven by a huge demand for these assets on Moonwell's protocol. Like sufficient liquidity and increasing circulating supply also provided good tailwinds to initiate these cap increases. So I think we increased the caps for wrapped ETH from the supply cap from 22,000 to 24,000, and the borrow cap from 16 to 20. So a pretty good increase in borrow caps for wrapped ETH. And for CB ETH, we increased the supply cap from 6,000 to 7,200, and subsequently the borrow cap from 1,800 to 2,100. For wrap staked ETH, we increased like from 3,000 to 4,000, and for the borrow caps for wrap staked ETH, we had like a marginal increase, not too much, which is like 900 to 1,250. This is primarily because we want to see more liquidity flowing into DEXs. So although there's like an increasing circulating supply on chain, if some of that also kind of flows into DEXs, I think there's a scope for a higher increase in these caps, and we would be more efficiently be able to meet the demand for supply and borrows on the protocol.
Okay, there we go. If you want to touch on the base, Moonbeam, and Moonriver recommendations.
Yes, of course. So we had a slew of recommendations for all three chains. I'm going to start off with Moonriver because I think that has fewer changes than the rest of the protocol. So for Moonriver, we increased the Frax reserve factor from 15 to 25. This was primarily based on the thought that we do want the protocol to withstand any tail end risks that might incur. So we just want to be on the safer side and kind of bolster reserves on the protocol. So Frax's reserve factor was increased to 25%. Subsequently, we decreased the collateral factor for Frax from 57% to 53%, again at the back of kind of mitigating risks. And we also reduced borrow cap for Wrap Moonriver from 40,000 to 20,000 tokens. So overall for Moonriver, we had a more conservative REX, just looking at the market conditions and scenarios. Apart from that, we also made like an IR curve adjustment for Frax, where we increased borrow APR at kink and also kind of increased the slope 2, which is the jump multiplier, to a much higher level. Currently, I think at full utilization, the borrow APR is going to be at 155, which was, if you compare it with the previous APR, it was at 54%. So it's like a 3x increase. So we mostly did that because we want to deter like 100% utilization on the protocol and have like ample room for liquidity to flow in and out of these markets. So that's Moon River. For Moonbeam, again, it was like we made some both risk on and risk off metrics, a mixed bag of recommendations here. For XC/USDC, we increased the collateral factor from 10 to 15% as we continue to see increasing circulating supply on chain. For Glimmer, we in fact reduced the collateral factor from 58% to 57%. We are not seeing a lot of on-chain liquidity for Glimmer increasing since the past few, I don't know, weeks or months that we've been tracking this market. So we thought it's best to reduce the collateral factor here. And we also had a slew of reduced borrow caps for Glimmer, Wormhole Bitcoin, Wormhole Wrapped ETH, because again, not the liquidity conditions were not really encouraging. So we wanted to mitigate any risk from having too high of caps and that being utilized. And we obviously don't want any malicious actor exploiting these high caps. So just to be on the safe side, we've reduced the borrow caps on these three assets. Apart from that, increase in reserve factor for USDT and USDC, again, bolstering the reserves and taking care of any tail end risks that the protocol might incur. And we made changes to IR curves for all stablecoins on the protocol, which is Wormhole USDC, XCUSDC, XCUSDT, and more importantly, Frax. Since we're closer to resolving the liquidity and bad debt conditions on Moonbeam than ever before. So we want to kind of prepare the market to kind of get back on its legs. And initially we did have a very linear multiplier and jump multiplier, which was where both of these slopes were set to 0.01. But now we kind of have different slopes for multiplier and jump multiplier so that, borrowers can borrow at a more suitable rate, and suppliers have more incentive to supply assets to these protocols. To these markets. And coming to base, we kind of pumped up the wrapped ETH caps, wrapped staked ETH caps, and this was done before the cap increases that I spoke about earlier. So there's like a really strong demand for these assets on base. So definitely increased caps there, but we also increased reserve factor for USDC base coin, the bridge one, to 20%, as we want to see more supply being channeled to the native USDC, and we kind of want to at the same time capture as much revenue as we can as USDBC market slows down. So we're just maximizing opportunity for revenue while at the same time encouraging more suppliers and borrowers to head towards native USDC. For the IR curve, we made changes to the USDC's IR curve. We kind of increased the kink to 90% to increase capital efficiency, and notched up the slope 1 to I think it's at like 6.5% now. Yeah, it's at 6%, my bad. Which is like a lot lower than the market rate. We still want to remain competitive, and if we do see like increased supply and borrows at this rate, we might increase the borrow APR at kink a little closer to where the benchmark rate is right now. I think DAI's DSR is at close to like 12 to 15%, at around that range, and we're still being very competitive. But I think we'll follow where the market equilibrium is and hopefully increase the borrow APRs a little further to kind of capture that revenue. So yeah, I think that basically summarizes all the recommendations for Moonwell's markets.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you, Sai. If anyone has any comments on any of the parameters or anything else, you can raise your hand or put the question in there. But if not, I'll go ahead and move on to Elliot. So I thought that the way we could structure this is just going in order of how the MIPs have generally been put forward for activating multi-chain governance, but you can discuss it however you want to, and I can adjust my slides as we go. So yeah, go ahead and throw it to you, Elliot.
Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, thank you, Sai, for that update. I think it's yeah, there's obviously a lot of market activity, so it's great to see the protocol, adjusting in real time. Yeah, I guess to start from a high level overview of where the protocol is. So we've just completed probably around, we've been working through the last like 4 months to put all of these components together to enable this cross-chain and multi-chain governance experience for the community. And I think that like it's helpful to just like set the stage, talk really 10,000-foot view. What are we doing here? What are these changes that we're going to be discussing in all these governance proposals? So really the goal of all this is to make the Well token natively multi-chain. And in order to do this, and I'm making the token natively multi-chain, we want to allow participation in the DAO, whether it's on Base, whether it's on Moonbeam, and really the big unlock for users right now is that they will be able to go ahead and take their well on Moonbeam and then get native well on Base. So it's essentially a first-class citizen there. It has voting rights in governance, so you'll be able to participate in the DAO, and it also is can be staked in the safety module. So a new safety module is also being rolled out. We will get to that later. And so, yeah, pretty much I think that we're going to see a lot more participation in governance, and we already have like, most proposals clear quorum by a nice margin, but I think that allowing users on multiple chains to vote is going to be pretty incredible. And to like just say what this is capable of, and I'm not saying that the community wants to go in this direction or there will be even like proposals to do this, but with these new changes, the Well token can now be expanded to chains outside of Base as well and outside of Moonbeam. So let's say there was demand for the Well token on Ethereum mainnet or on other layer twos, or name whatever chain, and now there is a process by which the DAO could vote to enable Well and native Well on those chains, and so it could be deployed, and if it passes a governance vote, then users could move their native Well tokens between chains. I think like the big advantages here, besides what I've already discussed, are you kind of end up with this problem when you have multi-chain tokens, where okay, let's say I have a token A, and it's on Optimism and it's on Base, and then I want to get it to Ethereum mainnet. But oh, I also have another version on Arbitrum, and now, okay, well, the version on Arbitrum was created by bridging the Optimism version to Arbitrum, so now you have to like unwrap like 3 steps, like unwrap from Arbitrum to Optimism back to ETH mainnet. And pretty much this design makes it so that you can just go between whatever chain you want. And, you have fungibility across the different chains. I think that's where I wanted to start, high level. And we've had a series of 4 governance proposals in the last 2 weeks, which is pretty incredible. I know it's a lot of stuff for delegates and Well token holders to keep track of, but I appreciate you guys staying engaged and staying involved. And so yeah, I guess we can start with MIP M21. So this is the first of 4 proposals to to make the native well token enabled on base, and it also is the first of 4 to enable like the cross-chain governance in this system. So we wanted to address issues around user experience because the XWell token, or the native well token, when it moves between chains, it gives you the native well token on either chain that you're on any chain that you go to. It just mints you that token from the bridge. However, on Moonbeam, users are not actually going to be, this is like a very technical thing, but users actually aren't going to be using the XWell token. They're going to be using the well token. And so they're not going to be using the XERC20 token that we have created. They're going to be using the original token because that's where all the liquidity is, and that's where all of all the integrations are, and there's like network effects around that token. So we don't want to force users to use a new token on Moonbeam that would require extra gas and a whole bunch of other stuff. So what we've done is we submitted a proposal to upgrade the wormhole adapter that sends messages across chains and allows users to move their tokens from one chain to another. And so we've upgraded this contract, and what this does now is it will then print the new native well token on Moonbeam, and then it will take that native token and then it will redeem it for the well token that has been in existence on the Moonbeam chain for the past 2+ years. So that is what this proposal was all about. It was upgrading this wormhole adapter. And for a little more context here, how does this new native token work? It follows the XERC20 standard, which is a standard that was proposed by Connext. It allows projects to create natively cross-chain ERC20 tokens without vendor or bridge lock-in. So this version of Well, it currently uses wormhole general message passing to send information about token transfers across chains. So let's say I want to go from base, my native well, and I want to go back to Moonbeam. What's going to happen here is, we're going to burn that token on base, and then that is going to send a message through Wormhole back to Moonbeam to mint me that corresponding amount that I burned on base. So it's just, so it's natively multi-chain. There's minting and burning. There's no locking of tokens. And the initial, provider that was written, that adapter contracts were written for was Wormhole, due to the protocol's current reliance on Wormhole. So for temporal governance, Wormhole is used for that smart contract to relay messages from Moonbeam to base. And so because there was general comfort with those smart contracts and how that system works, and also a general feeling that Wormhole is a reputable provider and they take security super seriously, and all of the due diligence, Wormhole seemed to be one of the better options. So that's what has been used here for the XERC20 token. And because this native well token now, it's actually not tied to any one bridge provider, it's actually possible that other bridges open up in the future. So currently there is a piece of code that has gone to Halborn for audit, which enables Axelar to use the Axelar bridge to pass messages between chains. So that'll allow users to choose, hey, do I want to go from chain A to chain B with Wormhole or Axelar? And I don't think there's any reason that this needs to be put up to a governance proposal now. But should Wormhole charge fees in the future that are like above standard, or maybe there's a security incident, then it would be possible to just go ahead and pass a governance proposal, and then now you've just shifted everything over to this new provider, and so that way the well token doesn't have its future tied to any single bridge provider, but it can just use whatever is safest and most convenient, and makes the most sense for the users. So I think that's it's really exciting. And so to go a little bit more into the security side of things for this new version of Well, there was a lot of testing that was done. So it started off as this ERC20 token that has the ability to be minted and burned by users with a rate limit. When I was looking through the specification for how XERC20 was implemented, I found some issues that could allow malicious actors to jam up a bridge by essentially a denial of service attack vector. And so to me, that seemed pretty unacceptable, that a bad actor could just spend some money on gas and then jam up the bridge and make delay users transferring from one chain to another. So we went ahead and fixed that issue and formally verified the library that did that. So it involved creating a new rate limit contract that users, or that would allow to kind of block this vector. So we then did extensive integration testing, fuzz testing, unit testing, invariant tests, and also used the Sartor prover and wrote invariants and formal specifications to convince ourselves that, hey, here these properties of the system were always true. And I think that was actually a lot of fun on the development side, writing those formal specifications. It is kind of its own whole discipline, and it's a lot of fun. So, and after all of this testing was performed, and internally we were satisfied at the code quality and how well the system had been done, Alborn was engaged to perform an audit, and so they audited the contracts. They found one issue around one feature not being enabled, and so we went ahead and enabled that, and fixed that. And then and the great thing about this new native well token is it was a permissionless process to deploy. So the contract was deployed, and then once the DAO had voted on it, then it became ratified in these proposals that we're going to get into here. It became ratified as ratified in governance. And so pretty much, and Solidity Labs are working on some tooling to verify contract bytecode on chain. And so in the future, maybe other members of the community or other contributors will go ahead and deploy these contracts, and then other community members will verify the contracts, and then it can go to a vote. So again, all really cool stuff. And so MIP 21, this is the proposal that allows us to improve the UX for users so that they can seamlessly go from chain to chain. And I think that right now, as users are all migrating to Base, this isn't going to really show up too much. But if users decide to transfer from Base back to Moonbeam, then they'll receive. You look at those transactions, you'll see that it mints XWell tokens, and then it burns the XWell tokens, and then it transfers the user the well tokens on Moonbeam. So it's a pretty cool transaction trace to look at. So I think that's all for MIP M21, and I think now we can move on to the next proposals.
If you want to go ahead and touch on MIP.
Yeah.
These kind of came as a pair, correct?
Yeah, these were two peas in a pod. So you can't pass MIP 24 without 23. So these are very tightly coupled together. So we've kind of touched on the new well token. Let's I think it's a good time to get really deep on the new governance contracts for the system. So this new governance system has contracts for it has contracts on two different chains. So the first chain is Moonbeam. So this has the multi-chain governor deployed on it, and the multi-chain governor should own all of the contracts in the system that the previous Artemis time lock owned. And so we had to figure out how to migrate over all the powers from governance from the previous contracts all the way over to the new contracts. And so MIP 23, what this did is it said, okay, we have the temporal governor, we have all of these M tokens on Moonbeam, we have this Chainlink Oracle contract, we have management, there's a bunch of different contracts that are deployed on each chain that we need to hand over powers, the admin abilities from the old governor to the new governor. And so what happened here was we just transferred off the owners, or we set the pending owners from the Artemis time lock to the new multi-chain governor. And then in MIP 24, what happened was for the M tokens, they have a two-step transfer process to regain governance powers. So what we did here was, okay, so MIP 23 passes, and then once MIP 24 passes, then we go ahead and accept those new governance powers on this multi-chain governor. So MIP 23 executes from the old Artemis time lock, the old governor contracts, and MIP 24 executes from the new multi-chain governor contracts. So that's kind of the flow of what happened here. So we took ownership of the new XWell token, the wormhole bridge adapters to move the well tokens cross-chain. That was transferred. The M tokens were transferred, the comptroller admin, the Chainlink Oracle admin, all these really, really key system components, they were all transferred. Their ownership was all transferred over to this new multi-chain governor. So this governor, it allows voting participation on multiple chains. So it's deployed on Moonbeam, and then there is a vote collection contract on Base. And this vote collection contract allows the native well token holders on Base and stakers in the safety module on Base to participate in governance and have their voice heard. So let's kind of walk through a flow here and see what happens when we try to pass a proposal, or when we try to create a new governance proposal. So the first thing that happens is a user on Moonbeam would propose to the multi-chain governor, and they would say, hey, here are these set of actions that I would like to happen. And so they go ahead and propose that to the DAO. And when they propose that to the DAO, they actually have to pay a fee. Now, the fee doesn't go to the DAO, it just goes to Wormhole to actually pass the message of what the DAO is trying to do over to Base. And so then the user pays the fee and they propose, and if they have sufficient voting power, they can do this. And then the message of that proposal ID and the voting start and end time, as well as the cross-chain vote collection period, which I'll get into a little bit later, all of that information is passed across these chains. And so now Base will have an understanding of what is happening on, or at least will know the proposal ID, and it will know the times that users can vote on this proposal. and it'll also know when it's appropriate to send those vote counts back to Moonbeam. So let's say we have proposal 1 in this new multi-chain governor, and we have a participant in governance, let's say Curly. Curly proposes to the multi-chain governor, and now this creates a new proposal on both Moonbeam, and then Wormhole carries a message over to Base. Now we have the proposal on Base, and now users from the community can go and participate and cast votes in this vote collection contract. On Base, once the voting period ends, so the voting period is 3 days. Once the voting period ends, we enter the period called the cross-chain vote collection period. And the cross-chain vote collection period is 24 hours. And during that time, messages from the vote counts of each of a proposal ID can be relayed from Base back to Moonbeam. Now, in the future, there may be other chains. If the DAO votes to go to other chains and ratifies that, it would involve like creating a native well token there, adding the wormhole or the well bridge adapters, and then there could be potentially multiple chains and users on multiple chains, and then they would all cast their votes, and those votes would all be counted in governance. So I think that's like a super high level of the system. MIP 23 and 24 essentially ratified the change to create this new multi-chain governance system. And yeah, I think it's just moving us from kind of this more legacy compound governor alpha to some really cutting edge governance contracts. And I'm really excited to see what happens and what kind of community participation we get on Base, because the last time I checked, there was close to 600 million well tokens on Base, and so that's a lot of, and it's distributed over thousands of users. So that's a lot of potentially new community members who can now participate in governance, or maybe it's easier for them to participate there, or yeah, I think there's just really cool to see. And so yes, so those MIPS they passed. I believe it was I kind of lost track of time, but I think it was a week or two ago now.
I think it was around a week, yeah. Yeah, and then hopefully also the Base Galaxy campaign will also help encourage those all that idle well there to get voting as well. So yeah, it'll be exciting to see all that come to fruition. And last IP here, B16. Prior to the call, quorum was not met, but I just checked, and I'm pretty sure that quorum has been met now. So you can disregard the last line here. But voting is still live. So
Okay.
Yep. So go ahead.
Yeah, awesome. So I guess the final proposal here is, so we've talked about the different components of this governance upgrade. We've talked about the new XWell token, the native well token, as we call it. We've gone through a multi-chain governor and the multi-chain vote collection, and now for the final addition is the safety module on Base. So this is a proposal that looks like it's reaching quorum now, which is that's good news. And what this allows is for users to backstop the protocol on Base with their new native well and receive rewards for doing so. So their MIP B16 is a proposal to essentially start rewards and to native well stakers on Base. And so yeah, this is really great, because now there's not just, okay, well, you can hold your well and participate in governance on Base, but you can actually earn rewards with it without taking any sort of or not taking any sort of impermanent loss risk. So the DAO could vote in a loss scenario on base. The safety module is to backstop the protocol, and there is a delay on unstaking native well from this contract. So if there was a loss on the base instance for whatever reason, the DAO could vote to apply a haircut to all stakers. So with this, but this is just really, I mean, in general, it's really great because now users can earn some yield, like they can on Moonbeam on their well, and then they can also backstop this instance of the protocol. So this is it's a much smaller proposal compared to the previous ones, and yeah, it just allows, and tokens that are staked in the safety module are auto self-delegated to the users that's staked, and so then you earn rewards, you backstop the protocol, and you have a voice in governance. So I think this is all just really great stuff for the community, and I'm definitely excited to see people backstopping the protocol and getting something for their troubles, and also participating in governance with this.
Awesome. Thank you, Elliot. Yeah, this has been a busy month for you, it sounds like.
A lot of changes. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I guess there's some other updates I could go into also as well before we wrap up here. So a new native well WETH pool has been created on Aerodrome, and yeah, incentives are in the process of moving entirely to this pool. So there's been some pretty high APRs there, at least because the TVL is not the same as the other pools, and because there's rate limits in the bridge. So there's rate limits enshrined natively into the well token. So in case of a bridge compromise, there's really there's only a limited blast radius. So that's great in terms of like protecting the community and the Moonwell DAO. On the other hand, as there's hundreds of millions of wells trying to move across chains, it's constantly bumping into this rate limit because we still want to ensure that there's security. So that's actually also one of the reasons why the rate is so high in this Aerodrome WETH pool right now, is because people are constantly bumping into the rate limit, trying to unwrap their well tokens. So that's really awesome. And also, if you're staked in the safety module, then there will probably be higher APRs in the beginning as people are migrating, and then the yields kind of there's more and more stakers, so it's the yields are more diffused or more dispersed. The other really awesome thing for users is, so it's really hard to get the native token on Moonbeam, which is Glimmer. So Moonwell is actually offering gas subsidies for users to migrate from their wormhole wrapped well to the native well. So what happens is the process involves unbridging your wormhole wrapped well from base to Moonbeam for well, and then using a new router contract to bridge back to base. And so there will be just Glimmer sent automatically to users who go through this process and have $10 or more supplied on base. They will be eligible for this gas subsidy. So I think this is just a really great thing for the community to help this migration to this new native well token. And one final update. So MIP M22, which is the Nomad Collateral Reallocation proposal, it passed with quite a good governance turnout. It was pretty much unanimous in terms of being the community wanted this to happen, which is really great to see. And currently the Solidity Labs team is engaged with we have a direct line to the Nomad team over email now. And so we're just trying to get that NFT minted, and once the NFT gets minted, then we can start the process of bridging Ethereum and redeeming getting those underlying assets, moving them to their asset that they need to be in, which is going to be Frax, and then we can go ahead and come back across the Frax ferry. So I just wanted to give a community update there. Like, this is moving along. It's taken a lot longer than expected on just getting the kind of social coordination around the last mile. That things have kind of just taken a while. So we appreciate your patience. Sorry it's taking so long, but know that we are working to make this happen. And yeah, so I think that's the final update on my side.
Great. Yeah. Thank you, Elliot. Here quickly, if Curly, if you want to raise your hand, if you wanted to speak a little bit about the reward speed proposal, you could, or any other delegates if you guys want to speak as well. Now's the time. This is the free for all. And if not, okay, there we go. And after that, we'll close with Eli. Hey, Curly.
Hey, folks.
Glad you
Thank you. Thanks again for holding this call, Elliot. Amazing work. All those updates were really cool to listen to, and just like view them going through the governance process. It's been super active month, which is great. One of the regular kind of proposals that I put through in the past month were the reward speed proposals. Nothing too crazy about them, besides the continual moving of rewards away from the old USDC to the native XCUSDC. So that's like the main update there. Other updates from me would be the pink airdrop campaign, which should be launching within the next 24 hours. So for those that are here, you're getting the little bit of alpha we've got. It's great that we've had so many governance proposals in the past month, because that is going to be one of the requirements in order to get your share of the airdrop. But never fear, there will be also some other opportunities for you to complete that task once it launches officially, again within the next 24 hours, hopefully. And for those the folks that are on this call, they're probably already going to be qualified for the other criteria. But if you aren't, for whatever reason, supplying liquidity to the Glimmer and or DOT markets, as well as supplying well to the safety module, then now would be a good time to do so. But all of the particulars on the amount and whatnot will be announced quite shortly. We're just getting the last kind of ducks in order to get ready for that announcement. And that's about it for me.
Beautiful. Thank you, Curly. Eli, do you want to close this out and wrap up a little bit?
Yeah, of course. Don't have too much to say, but I do want to start with a few thank yous. Alex, thank you for organizing. Curly, thank you for sharing. Super excited for the upcoming Pink campaign. Of course, thank you to everyone joining in the audience right now, and thank you to everyone listening to the recording on YouTube. Thank you from Sai. Thank you to Sai from Gauntlet and Elliot from Solidity Labs. As a community, we're extremely privileged to have like such top tier, world-class contributors truly at our back. Recently we've seen like a major uptick in TVL user activity, especially on our base deployment. We've been maxing out caps, and the parameters have had to be adjusted a lot more regularly, and Gauntlet has stayed on top of things, actioning these timely updates and keeping the community in the loop as they do so through the forums. They have their market alerts channel, which I'm not sure if Sai mentioned, but I believe they are working on some automation to actually, because right now they're having to manually let us know when caps are getting close to being hit and they're adjusting. But I think they are actually working on some automation to make those feeds kind of automated. So thank you so much, Sai, and thank you, Gauntlet, for all that you do. Also, it's really been one more thing on Gauntlet. It's been really encouraging. They've just put they've granted the Moonwell community incentives to be placed on the native USDC market on base, and we have seen really great liquidity growth in that market since those incentives have come online. So thank you for that as well. Elliot, man, you just went really deep, really deep on the new multi-chain governance system, native well, your Frax liquidity enhancement proposals, and technically it's all very dense, but I think you've given the community not only like just a ton of knowledge about like the inner workings and how our new governance system functions, but also like a little window into just how much work you guys have put in over the last few months. I think, and honestly, I think we may have undersold it a little bit, like just how massive of an achievement this is, and just how much work you guys have put in. So I did want to say a big thank you and congratulations to Solidity Labs. And just a few more notes and reminders. I think Elliot actually stole a little bit of my thunder and covered a few of these, but a few other things. So when you are supplying to Moonwell on base, you will still be receiving rewards in the old wormhole wrapped well token until April 19th. Essentially, rewards are cut up into like these, they're called epochs, or like these little like 4-week periods. And Warden Finance is managing incentives on the base deployment. And essentially, he is, he's going to wait until this epoch flip on April 19th. And then on that date, you will start receiving the new native well as a reward for supplying on Moonwell. So I wanted to flag that. Also wanted to flag Moonbeam Well. I know Elliot mentioned this, but essentially Moonbeam Well isn't changing. If you have well on Moonbeam, there's no action that needs to be taken. You are good. Unless you want to transfer to base, which you can use the in-app transfer wizard to do so. If you have well on base and you're having trouble with migration, just please create a support ticket. I know some users using Coinbase Wallet were experiencing some issues. We've identified the issue. We should be able to help you work through any troubles you may be having, including with the Glimmer required for migration. So please open up a support ticket if you're having issues. And then once you're migrated, please activate your voting power. Basically, if you stake, you're good to go. Your voting power is activated. You can take part in governance. But if you're just holding well, you do actually have to manually activate your voting power to be eligible for voting. The good news is it's super easy to do so. This can be done from the governance voting power page in the Moonwell app. You can very easily, like one click, self-delegate so you can vote, or you can browse the delegates page and vote for someone like Cool Horse Girl or Curly on the call here, or Gauntlet or Solidity Labs. So like you really have your option of different people. Like say, I don't know, you're too busy to vote regularly, or you think your voting power would be better served from someone who is working day in and day out on Moonwell, like Solidity Labs. Then you have that option to delegate to other entities as well. But yeah, that's it. It's been a very exciting past few weeks and past few months for Moonwell. So I just want to thank all the contributors here, everyone listening, and I'm just excited for the coming weeks and months as well too. Thank you.
Thanks, Eli. That was a much better conclusion than I could ever give. So I guess I'll let your words send us off. Thanks to everyone for joining. And yeah, hopefully we'll all meet here again next month on the 2nd, I believe. May 2nd is the first Thursday. So, all right. Thank you, everybody. Take care. Have a good month.
Thanks, guys.
You guys have a good one.